Pretty much any YouTuber out there says that you need to like and subscribe to their videos, but I'm a developer, so I thought, how about we see if we can create a function that does this for me. We're going to have a look at JavaScript and HTML and see if we can untangle the YouTube code and create a function that automatically makes you like and subscribe to all my videos. So let's jump in and have a look. To start off with, I jumped onto my laptop to see what the code actually looks like on the YouTube website. There's a bunch of HTML and JavaScript that I'm worried might be a little bit too complicated to decipher, but the only way to really have a look at it is to pull up an actual video and see what that code actually looks like. The first thing I found out is that there's a lot of HTML on the website. I mean, a lot. There are so many nested divs in here that I almost got lost. But that's okay because you can use the inspect tool to figure out exactly what element you're after. The first thing I noticed is that the like button and the subscribe button aren't just a single button. There are a bunch of nested A tags and buttons and SVG icons. So to try and figure out what function I needed to operate, I needed to identify exactly what function was being called. You can do this through inspecting the element and then opening up the tabs and selecting event listeners. This gives you insights into exactly what functions are being called when different events happen, like if you do a mouse over or a mouse out, or a click or a maybe long click. There's all the types of events here, and they all follow through into a scripts file. All of this code is a nightmare, and you don't want to know how long I stared at it for before I gave up. Alright, so I think I found the function that's causing the like toggle to happen. So let's see if we can try and figure out exactly what's happening by inspecting where it's coming from. After a bit of research and a lot of headache, I found that I just couldn't get this function to fire independently. So I've tried to now Google to see if there's another way to go about it. And what I'm thinking is maybe to see if there's already a pre-existing solution out there, because often you might find that if you do a quick check on Stack Overflow, there might be something out there. Okay, so I've done some research, and it seems that if you try and figure this thing out on Google, it doesn't really help you that much. Google just took me to this page here, which essentially allows me to create my own YouTube button with how many subscribers I want. But that's not really what I'm after. I'm after something where if someone lands on one of my videos, they can execute a JavaScript function and that will prompt them to immediately like the video. I was running low on energy, so I quickly grabbed some snacks to refuel. And what we're going to do now is what all developers do, which is jumping on Google and continuously Googling until we figure out what the problem is and what the solution is. So what I'm going to do here is jump onto Google and search up different ways the YouTube system essentially runs its functionality and see if there's any other people that have really invested time into trying to do something similar to what I'm trying to do. I've got another idea that we might want to try out, which is the on-click handler based on a tag that we were mentioning before, which is essentially like you do a pretend click of the button, and to the YouTube interface it's more or less the same. So let's give that a shot. It's essentially trying to find out the particular DOM that is the button or the trigger for the on-click handler and using it that way rather than calling the function itself. So I'm just going to jump into the code and try and find out what this div is. Alright, let's jump in here, type in Adrian Twarog. We'll jump into one of my latest videos. And yes, we've got an editor X ad there, so we're just going to skip past that. And what I want to do here is inspect the code for the like button. For this piece of code, we've got all of our syntax here, and what we're trying to do is trigger this button right over here. So I'm going to jump into console, and I'm going to try and figure out what this is. Let's make this a little bit bigger, and we'll inspect the element here. And when we do, we'll see that we have this ID here, which is the top level buttons. So we're going to reference this as we try and work our way down the code here to make it to the like button. Now it's the very first item in the array here, which we want to toggle, and it's got an A tag here, which is the one that's causing the functionality. So let's jump back in here. And what I want to do is essentially reference the document, which we're using. It's the whole document or the whole website, and we want to do a query selector. For this query selector, we want to paste in the top level buttons there, but it's an ID, so let's put a hashtag in there. Next, we want to grab the item here, which was, I think, the ytd-toggle-button-renderer. Let's spell that correctly, renderer. And it was the very first child, so I'm going to do nth-child 1. We want to grab the A tag, and we want to push the button in there. So I think that should more or less do it. And let's hit enter on that and see what happens. All right, it's grabbed the button here. We can see the button is there. So we've just query selected it. So what I might do is I'll copy this piece of code and let this be the like button, and we'll equal it just over here. And now we do have the like button, which is the text there. And I want to do a click. So let's type in click here. Boom. And there we go. We've liked the video with this function. And if I select it again, it's going to unlike it. So now we can create a function. This function can call like Adrian's videos. And this function will simply do a query selector, which will be let like button equal this DOM query selector. And then we might, we could even avoid that. We could just pull the click straight afterwards. So there's our new function. Let's call it like Adrian's video. Boom. And no, that didn't work. I did something wrong there, I think. I didn't call the function here when I did the click. So let's try that once more. And there we go. So like Adrian's video works. So this is halfway there. We've gotten a function here that likes all my videos. And now we just need a function to subscribe to my videos. All right, using the same trick, we can pretty much get the subscribe button to work. So I'm going to inspect this element here, and we'll see that it's got an ID called the subscribe button. Now, if we follow this ID down, we'll see that there's this subscribe button renderer and this tp-yt paper button. And if we fill out the container here with subscribe button, yt subscribe, tp paper button, and we do a click and hit enter, that creates a subscription for us. It says this document isn't a trusted script assignment. I'm not sure what that means, but if we refresh the page now, we'll see that I'm subscribed to my own channel. So this is awesome. Let's see if we can code this out into a function as well. I'm gonna open up the console, and I think the function was just here that we had before for like Adrian's video. So this time I'm gonna do subscribe to Adrian's videos, and we'll paste in this function here. And let's give this a call. So I'm currently subscribed, so I'm gonna unsubscribe, and then I'm gonna call the function subscribe to Adrian's videos, and boom, there we go. So here are the two functions that I've sort of figured out to like and subscribe to my videos. I'm going to post them up on GitHub so you guys can have a look at that, and I'm going to play around with them to see what else we can do.